Hi, my name is Jeff Smith. I'm the author of the KPI Book and on record as the most successful author in history on the subject of key performance indicators and business strategy. I'm really thankful that I've been a guest today with B8 on the Business Growth Architect Show. And what did we talk about? We talked specifically about KPI, key performance indicators. What do they mean? But more importantly, how do we use them for great effect? Now, in this show, we examine the sales process, how to win more customers, close more deals, and make more profit. And if you want to find out the secrets of success in that area, tune into the show.
Welcome to the Business Growth Architect Show. I am Beate Gillette. I am the host. I want to welcome you to our globally top 10% ranked podcast, where you will hear from industry experts about the strategies that are working right now to unlock hidden opportunities in any market so that you can grow your authority and scale your impact. And now let's get started with the show. Hello and welcome back. This is your host, Beate Gillette. And today I feel like I am in for a treat because I have, Jeff, I'm going to just say it, a legend on the show. Here with me is Jeff Smith, who invented the KPI. So Jeff, I am so excited to have you on the show.
Oh, thank you so much. I mean, I don't know what to say, B8. I'll just wait for the questions now, I think.
So for somebody who does not know you, might be familiar with KPIs or some of this terminology, can you just give us a couple minutes of your background, who you are, what you do, and then we'll dive into the KPIs, which I'm sure is already making quite a few of our listeners break out in hives and sweats.
Yes, I bet. So in your brief introduction there, you said I invented KPI or discovered them. That's a bit like saying Christopher Columbus discovered America. Well, of course he didn't. It was already there. He just made the Western world aware of its existence. And key performance indicators have always been there. And then my role is making people aware of their existence, to understand them, and then to use them properly. And as you've already pretty much alluded to, B8, most people don't understand what key performance indicators are about. They use them as performance measurements on people. And if it's not good, then people get their arms ripped off and beaten over the head with a sticky end. And key performance indicators are not about that at all. 40 years now. I've been working in the automotive industry. We're running car dealerships, and a car dealership has really 5 or 6 different businesses in one building. So you have new car sales, used car sales, you have a service department, you have a parts department, you have a vehicle repair outfit, you have rental. There's about 300 people in one dealership. So to keep the whole thing together, it's like spinning plates the whole time. And you can't be everywhere. So you have to have some mechanism of knowing what's going on so you know where to focus your effort. But what really happened, what really accelerated me with the development of key performance indicators, was when I got promoted to the board of directors, and then I was given 10 full-blown car dealerships to run. You've got the complexities of one multiplied by 10, all in different locations. The only way really for me to understand and provide true leadership for everyone in the group was to really create some key performance indicators to help everyone so we all talk the same language. But here's the thing, they don't measure people, they measure activities. And the big thing, key performance indicators, they're not answers, they're questions. And that's the biggest mistake that people make with key performance indicators. So let's take a really simple one. So first of all, perhaps I should say, what is a KPI? What is a key performance indicator? We break out, if you're in business, we use them. In your personal life, we use them. They're in everything that we do throughout our lives. So if you want to lose weight, then you weigh yourself at the beginning. You have a target of what weight you want to be, and then you start applying actions to get to your desired weight. Well, along with those actions, you'll have measurements, and those will be key performance indicators. So one might be calorie counting, for instance. How many calories do you want to consume in a day? That's a key performance indicator. So if your target is, 2,000 calories, and you've had 1,000 calories already, then you're 50% of your consumption. Now, that's as simple as key performance indicators are. Now, they can be complex, but there's no need for them to be complex. They're really your pathway, your roadmap to your destination. And that's how they really should be used. Does that help you?
Yes, it does help me. So I already feel like I can take a breath and dry the sweat pearls on my forehead that I somehow missed something or did something wrong. But if I understand this correctly, and I'm just going to rephrase this or repeat this so that our audience, the Beehive, really understands what we're talking about. And so the idea is that any objective or goal I have in life, be that my personal life, be that my professional life, be that my company, be that achieving a particular number, that is under an umbrella term, the key performance indicator that will help me to figure out, is what I'm doing working? Am I actually getting to my goals? So let's talk about the flip side of it. So what key performance indicators are not designed to be, is, you already said, is as terrorizing people by not hitting goals. So what's the difference between the performance indicator for a process versus the person that is running the process? Is it not one and the same thing?
No, absolutely not. So let's go back to the losing weight one. If you decide to lose weight and you decide that you want to consume no more than 2,000 calories per day, and then you eat, 1,800 calories per day, what does that mean? So if your target is 2,000 calories and you eat 1,800 calories, then you know that you'll be on your road to success with that. Now, if you go over 2,000 calories, let's say you eat 2,200 calories, now, you don't say, that's your fault, you're a bad person, you're not doing what you said you would do, game over. That's not what key performance indicators are. They're not answers, they're questions. It's to say, okay, our target was 2,000 calories. Yesterday, let's have a look at what was consumed. It was 1,800, and this is what it is. Today, it's 2,200. Why is that? What is it that happened within the process that caused the 200 calories over? And then it's about looking back and understanding what happened. So for some people, it might have been they were out at a restaurant and they didn't understand the calorie consumption of a particular food and didn't find out until they got back home. It's a question. So why did you go over the 2,200 calories? Now, if we translate that into business, if we look at a real simple mathematical equation that happens in every single business worldwide, we buy something, we sell something, we hope to make a profit. So that particular profit is called gross profit. It's the sales minus the cost of sales. Whether it's a product or a service, we all engage in gross profits. If you're comparing your business with another business that's buying and selling the same product, widget number one, and the gross profit percentage is calculated by saying, how much gross profit did I make? So let's say we sell something for $15. We buy it for $10. Our gross profit is $5. The key performance indicator to bring in would be, what's our gross profit percentage? So that would be the $5 gross profit divided by the turnover, which is $15. 5 divided by 15 gives us 33%. Our gross profit percentage would be 33%. Now that is a key performance indicator. So now here's my favorite question. Our gross profit is 33%. What do we then do with that information? Because that 33% is not an answer, it's a question. And what we need to do is understand the causes, and understanding the difference between cause and effect is the secret to success. So let me explain what cause and effect means. So cause are the actions you take, and the effect is the results of the actions that you take. Now here's the thing, B8. You cannot change effects. You can only change causes. So, as a manager of your business, as a manager of your life, it's your job then to question the causes and correctly identify them. So, if we go back to our widgets that we buy for $10, we sell for $15, we left with $5, we then say, okay, we've managed to gross 33%. Now, if we want to compare with another business who sells the same widget and they're making, 40%, then that's not an answer that you're making 33%. It's a question. Now, the causes can only be two things. So you then compare with the other business. Well, what's their buying price? Oh, they're also buying at $10. The other cause then must be the selling price. So they're then selling at a higher price than the $15. So now your question becomes, I'm selling at $15. They're selling at something higher. And the question is, how do they do that? What is it they do? Is it the marketing that's better than us? Is it that their sales process is better than us? Is it their sales team is better than us? Do they handle inquiries better than us?
So the idea really is to look at what are the numbers? What do I measure? And then what does that even mean? If just a number by itself, if I'm hearing you correctly, means absolutely nothing.
Okay, now we're talking about people and process. Now, let's say your target is 33% BAs and you achieve 33%. My question is still the same. What? If we want to, the reason we have key performance indicators is this. Are we making the most of the resources that are available to us? So you've hit the target, okay? Who said the target was right?
Oh,
Now, yeah.
now you're getting started with that.
Yeah, because now then, if someone sets a target and you don't deliver on that target, who said the target is right? Now, let's go back to our widget that's at 33%. Now, let's say you're buying and selling and you're making 40% and I'm making 33. Now, perhaps my first question might be, well, B8, how many do you sell? And you might say 1,000 a month. And I'll say, okay, we sell 20,000 a month. So my volume is significantly higher, and the volume is higher because we sell it at a lower price than you do. And I'm happy about that because that delivers volume. Now, if I was getting 40% and a lot higher volume, I'd be even better, but I might have to sacrifice the volume to get that. So now you see how the key performance indicator is a question. And then if the target is 30 or 35% and you're hitting 33, you could then justifiably say, well, 35 would be nice and I can achieve that. But to do it, we're going to sacrifice volume. Which way do you want to go?
That answer would be, it depends, because then I need to look at other, let me guess, key performance indicators on.
Indeed, absolutely right. So, and here's the thing now. Key performance indicators are very, very specific. In fact, the secret is in the letter K. Key. Now, let me put that into context. When you jump into a car, what you have in front of you is a dashboard, yeah? Each one of those instruments and dials is a key performance indicator. 20 miles per hour is a key performance indicator. If you go from this speed in this range, you'll be 20 miles in 1 hour's time. Now, if you want to get to your destination, which is 40 miles away in half an hour, you're not going to do it at 20 miles an hour, are you?
No,
So
not
you can
really.
how fast you need to do to be on time. You see, key performance indicators are everywhere. Now, thinking about your car dashboard, if you're going on a journey and the journey is 100 miles and your car does 20 miles to the gallon, you now know you need 5 gallons of fuel, right? There's another key performance indicator, right? So we're burning the fuel at that rate. If you need 5 gallons for your journey and you look in your tank and you've got 10 gallons, whilst you're on your journey, how often do you need to look at your fuel gauge?
Not at all. Actually, I can go back and forth. Mm-hmm.
Absolutely. So this is the mistake that people make with key performance indicators. They have too many. And there's no need to keep looking at your fuel gauge every 10 minutes, just like there's no need to look at every key performance indicator every 2 minutes. So here's the secret of success. You decide what you want to achieve. You decide how you're going to achieve it. And here's the key. You select the right key performance indicators to create your KPI dashboard for that journey. That's it. Now, here's the thing. I go into businesses and I ask them, hey, what is it that you want to achieve? So they say what they want to achieve, and I write it down. And then they ask, am I using the correct key performance indicators? And I'll say, okay, based on what you want to achieve, let's now design a KPI dashboard. So this is like your car instrument panel. What instruments do you need to look at whilst you're on this journey? Your goal. So we create the key performance indicators for them, leave them, and away they go. Now, here's the thing that frustrates me, B8. Let's say I then go back in 2 years' time to this business. They've probably hit their goals and aspirations. So do you think they have new goals and aspirations from 2 years ago?
They really shouldn't, because market conditions change.
They do indeed. And what about the people? Do you think they will be any different than they were 2 years ago? I don't mean different people. I mean, they now have 2 years more experience, 2 years of growth, 2 years more of understanding, right?
We are living in a volatile environment. There's external circumstances. We also don't know what their personal circumstances are and their ability to focus at work or to be fully engaged. We had the hybrid work from home, come back to work conversation. We have now a larger number of external factors that are probably greatly affecting performance.
Yeah, exactly. So what happens? One of the big mistakes I see in business, they call me in. That's not the mistake, by the way. They call me in.
Call Jeff. Okay, got it. We'll put it in the show notes. Yes.
They call me in. We set out the goals and objectives. We then put together a KPI dashboard. I then go back in a year or 2 years' time. Their goals will have changed, and here's the error. They're still using the same key performance indicators.
I see where you're going with this. Okay, great. All right, so people are understanding change, but they don't know how to. It's almost like they don't see the change all the way through. And let's talk more about KPIs right after this quick message. Are you looking for the hidden opportunities for you in this market? Or are you simply wanting to figure out what is your unique differentiation factor that makes clients want to work with you and not your competitors? If this resonates, I want to invite you to go to uncoverysession.com and schedule your 15-minute complimentary uncovery session with one of our business growth advisors that will take you through what your number one business growth blocker is, what you can do to remove it, and what your very best next step should be. And now let's get back to the show. Beate Schilett here, the Growth Architect, back with Jeff Smith. And I know that at this point, maybe some of our listeners are going to go, man, this sounds really complicated. I kind of want to make this easy. So let's just say, so a lot of our listeners are small business owners. They are either solopreneurs or they have a small team. Can you help us with identifying ideas of what should I measure? Give us some ideas of what some good things are that I should pay attention to under a KPI, key performance indicator. And then help me figure out when I recognize what I need to do when the KPI goes off the charts and it's not what I want.
What are the top 10 KPI or top 5 KPI? I think that's what you were asking. You know, success means different things to different people. And as you know, B8, you've been on my show, Secrets of Success. And, you know, season 6 already, and I've had jet fighter pilots, I've had multimillionaires, people from all walks of life, and I ask them, what does success mean to you? And I've not had 2 the same yet.
I know. Now, when you say it like that, that makes a lot of sense, because now I go, you are probably correct, because the first question that a good business strategist or consultant always asks their client is, what do you want?
Exactly. Now, based on what you want, will determine which key performance indicators you need.
Mm-hmm.
Ta-da! Okay, so that's number 1.
Mm-hmm.
First mindset shattered. Very sorry about that.
Allow me to just say, it probably would be helpful if you have some sort of key performance indicator in the way you bring clients in and what you're closing. So,
Okay, so
what?
let's go that route now. Let's
Yeah.
take your second question.
Yes.
So your second question is, we've done some marketing, we're attracting some people, let's say, I don't know, to a telephone call or email or something. And your question was, BA, how many of those people that come to us do we convert into paying customers? Right?
Mhm.
Okay, so let's deal with that one. Right. If you want a name for a key performance indicator, this one is most commonly called closing ratio. So, of all the people that we speak to about our products or services that we sell, what percentage of them do we convert into customers? So, let's go some easy math. If 10 opportunities come to us and we convert 3 of them into customers, our closing ratio would be 30%. So 3 divided by 10 is 30%, which means in English, for all of the people that contact us, our closing ratio is 30%. So if we had 100 people contact us, we're likely to have 30 customers. Okay, now let's get to the basis of your question. If we have a number of clients contacting us, what percentage do we convert into customers, right?
Mhm.
Now let's stay with this 30%. First of all, that's a terrible key performance indicator and probably not a great question to ask. I'm really sorry about that, but let me unpick what I've just said. Now, the thing that happens when someone contacts us, we have to do things and behave in a certain way and give the customer what they want in order for them to be a customer of ours, right?
Correct.
If you ask the question, how many people contact us and how many people do we close? What you're in fact saying, let's ignore the sales process completely and let's just go straight to the end. So that's a really bad measure because there are many key performance indicators on that journey that we should first examine. So first of all, how many customers do we get? Now, you might want to question where they come from. Is it from email marketing? Whatever. So you then have a broad spectrum of sources. 10% from here, 40% from there, 20% from here, and so on. Then what happens, you take one of those sources and let's say telephone calls, incoming telephone calls. Now, when you receive a telephone call, what you have to do is follow a process because the customer has a buying process and you as a business have a selling process. And those two processes have to work in harmony with each other. Now, whether you recognize those two processes exist or not might be a different matter. Whether you follow them might be a different matter. But the first part of the process will be the customer contacts you. So, first of all, how does the customer feel? What's going on psychologically when they're calling you? I'll share with you. This is what we're pre-wired for. We're wired on trust and like. If I don't trust you, I won't do business with you. I don't care what the price is. If I don't trust you, I won't do business with you. It's binary. Now, the second one is like. If I really like you, I'll pay you more money. If I don't like you, then I'm going to be talking discounts. So first of all, I have to trust you. But if I don't like you, you are going to pay for it. If I do like you, then I'm happy to pay you more money. And I guess we can all think of a time when we've probably bought something from someone we like and probably paid a little bit more money to them because we like them.
I use a facialist and I use her. She used to work from across the street. I didn't even know. But then when she moved into my building, I walk by every single day. So I checked out. I never even checked on whether or not her prices are comparable to other prices because I like her. I like her story. I like her work ethic. I like I like everything about her. And so I didn't ever even ask or did research. Could I get the facial somewhere else for 20, 30, $40
Absolutely.
less? Yeah.
So the first part The first part of the question is, right, that's the customer's buying process. And we're hardwired. First we trust, then we like. Trust is binary, and like is a sliding scale. So what must happen when you first engage someone, let's call it the meet and greet process, you then have to establish trust and like. And if you fail to get trust, you're never going to get to the end of this journey, because no matter what you do or how much you charge, you're not going to convert that customer. Not going to happen. So there's a meet and greet measure. That's the first key performance indicator. So once you've done the meet and greet and they've established trust, okay, I trust you. You know what you're talking about, B8. Hardwired, what's going on in the process? Do I like you? And this is about establishing rapport. So these are skills that we need to develop when meeting with new customers, is understanding rapport. Because the better we are at understanding rapport, the more likely you are to build trust, and the more likely you are to build like, which means more people will do business with you and more people will pay you more money to do business with you. So
I
that's
like
the
that.
first.
Yeah, go ahead. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So once you've done them, if you're poor at meet and greet, just think about this. If you're poor at meet and greet, you won't get any further in the process. So think about who answers your company telephone. What happens when someone contacts your company? What does your autoresponder look like? What happens when you're busy? Do you answer email? Do you not answer email? How do you answer email? And everything that you do in that first process will affect trust and like. So think about those things. So if somebody's buying, let's take a big ticket item. Doesn't matter what it is. Let's say you're selling a product that's $10,000. Someone contacts you. I'm interested in your $10,000 product. You've really got to get the like and trust pretty quickly. Then what happens? It's qualification, and it's understanding why the customer wants this product. And this is where you spend most of the time, and matching what the customer wants and building it with alignment with the product. Once you can build alignment with what the customer requires and it matches with your product, then maybe it's time for a demonstration. Now, what's the purpose of a demonstration? That's for the customer to experience what it's all about. So I'm building up the sales process here. And then what will happen after the demonstration? You then say, okay, now we've established who you are, what you want, and this is the right project for you. Here's your quotation. So you then do, let's call it a proposal. So what happens then? If the customer wants it, they'll accept your proposal, and then you do the business. You close the deal, right? Now, if you say how many people contacted us and how many people did business with us, you're completely ignoring that process, because you can't close a deal unless you've done a proposal. It's physically impossible to do that. People don't call you up and say, here's $10,000.
What I really like about this, Jeff, is you basically just taken this whole internet marketing nonsense about how sales are supposed to happen. Get them on the call, pound them in the ground, ethical persuasion, handle objections, and then just close. That's a good salesperson. So you've just taken this and you said to me, absolutely not. You have many, many more pieces in there. And it's almost like internally when you were saying that, I was relieved, because I think that now that I've had this conversation with you, I understand that I need to look at every part of this. So I need to take this like chewing gum or like Play-Doh, and I need to pull it further apart. And I need to say, who is coming in? Where they're coming in? What is their mindset when they're coming in? How do we get them in? Who talks to them? What are we asking them? And then how do we figure out that our product is aligned with them? Because that's, I think, part of the challenge. I mean, certainly we are seeing this right now, is that the product market fit, if we're attracting a particular type of client who needs what we have, but neither can pay for it nor wants to do anything about it, which is why they've been in this situation for as long as they have. We can waste all of our resources talking to them all day long, ethical persuasion, handling objections. We're still not going to make the sale simply because they don't have the money. What I'm hearing you say, to sum this up and wrap this up, that I need to really maybe want to understand a little bit more about what measurement means for my company before I throw out a bunch of KPIs.
You need first to decide what it is that you want to achieve, how you want to achieve it, and that by definition will automatically decide what things you want to focus on. And that's where you place your key performance indicators so that you ask the intelligent questions.
I love
Now, we've spoken a little about sales process. And here's the thing. You spoke earlier about, in your words, the internet nonsense with pushy salespeople and bang, bang, bang. Now, what happens when we buy something, we go through a buying process. So what I explained has to happen. We might not have been consciously aware of it before, but when we go look for something, we look at who do we trust, then we look for product and pricing. If we find someone we like, we'll pay a bit more. And then when we found it, I want to go see it. I want to touch it, feel it, explore it. Then I want confirmation of how much it is. Then I want to know when I can get it and all the things that are important for me. And then here's my money. So when we buy anything, we always go through that process. Even food, big stuff, small stuff, we go through it. Now, here's the thing. When you're aligning key performance indicators to create your sales process, it's important to put that process in line with the customer's buying process. Because if the customer is dancing to a waltz, and your sales process is push, 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 and you're dancing to the salsa, can you imagine two people on a dance floor holding hands, one doing a waltz and one doing a salsa?
It's an interesting visual.
Yeah. So key performance indicators are questioning what dance, what music is the customer dancing to, and let's make sure we're doing the same dance at the same time to the same music as the customer. Because if you don't, that closing ratio will fall from 30% down to 10%. And if you do, that closing ratio will go from 30% to 40, 50, 60, 70, 80%.
I love that. And that's a great way to finish this interview. Jeff, so you have a book, you have a show. So tell us everything. How can we find out about you and more, get more familiarity maybe with the KPIs and the work that
All right. Okay, thank you. So Jeff Smith is my name, JFF. My website is jeff-smith.com. I speak at conferences all over the world. I specialize on key performance indicators, business strategy. The books I've written are for the automotive industry. I'm on record as the most successful author in history on the subject of key performance indicators, which is wonderful. One of the books that might be of interest is one called Close More Deals. And that looks at what we've been talking about today about the sales process. So how do we align ourselves and our questions, key performance indicators, how do we align them with what our customer wants so that we can attract more customers, win new deals, and make more profit? And at the same time in that, enhance customer satisfaction, which is all about like.
I love that. Excellent. Well, thank you so much. It's been a real treat to have you on the show and to be able to talk to you about something that is a subject people know they need, but probably don't know a lot about it. And to get it straight from the source is just amazing. I'm very, very grateful for you having been here. So thank you so much for being on the show.
I'm flattered. Thank you so much for your kindness.
And that's it for us today. I hope we helped you to understand a little bit about the topic of KPIs. So if you have any questions, please do take Jeff up on his offer, reach out to him and check out the book. And that's it for us for today. And until I see you again next time, and goodbye. Thank you for listening to or watching the show. We are so excited that you're here and we are very grateful for you. Now it's our turn to ask you for help. Please do share this episode with one other person that needs to hear what we were talking about today. If there's any question you have about business, please do reach out to us and let us know. And don't forget to schedule your complimentary Uncovery session at uncoverysession.com, where one of our business growth advisors will help you to figure out what your number one business growth blocker is in only 15 minutes. And that's it for us today. Until next time.